he's ready to go, cause now the countdown has started and he's ready to blow. He's got the dope sounds bumping and it's there.
Episode 143, Red Leaf for Retrocast. I'm JD. You are Colin, no Joey. I can't imagine why he didn't want to be here today.
That coward. I swore revenge with more bad games, but he ducked out.
He chooses bad games and he revels in our pain. And then you choose bad games and he's like, I can't make that one, sorry.
He can dish it out, but he can't take it.
A truly evil person, this man, this Joey. Alright.
Indeed.
What is the theme that you have chose?
It is. Was it really that bad? And I think we can safely say with both of these that, yes, they really were.
Oh my god. We've played at least some iteration of one of these games on the podcast in the past and enjoyed them. Well, spoiler, have we actually played... We played Sonic CD, right? I think that's the only Sonic game, right?
We also covered Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. As well as
we've played a lot of Sonic games. What the fuck am I talking about? We've played Sonic 2, 3, Adventure, Adventure 2, Sonic CD, Sonic R, and... Sonic Adventure.
Regular Sonic.
Yeah. We played a lot more than I thought. Must be years since we last played them. Alright, fair enough.
Yeah, you're an old man now.
Well, we've been doing this podcast for years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very exciting times. Quickly coming up
Indeed.
on, what is it, 7 years?
Mm-hmm. Six,
No,
I
6
think.
years. 6 years. I can count.
Not well, apparently.
Well, I always forget the YouTube was when you and I started in Canada.
Yeah.
That was more or less a podcast.
Let's Plays. What's the difference?
Okay. What have you been playing?
It's actually been a busy couple of weeks. I haven't really had that much time for gaming because just last week, my Oma, that is my grandma on my mom's side, she passed away at almost age 92, as in would have been 92 next month. So we all ended up flying out to Edmonton for the funeral and stayed there for about 5 days.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was quite an affair. I mean, getting that all organized within 5 days. I'm quite impressed with my family for that.
Wow.
Of course, it's a big family on my mom's side. And my brother and sister-in-law handled all the accommodations and plane tickets. So that was nice. But, yeah, it's a nice little service and burial.
Mm-hmm.
It's all very touching and bittersweet. But that's all in the past. I also went to Fan Expo Canada yesterday.
Tell me about that. I did enjoy my time going to those.
Yeah, I basically just walked around the dealer's room the whole time. Managed to snag a few games here and there.
What'd you get?
I got a physical copy of Super Meat Boy on PS4.
Oh, wow.
Yep, those are a thing now, apparently. It's got kind of a weird cover. It's like both Meat Boy and Bandage Girl looking like super realistic human, but at the same time just made of meat and bandages. So it's a little weird.
Okay.
But I think that's part of the joke. And then I got Stardew Valley on Switch, physical.
Oh, yeah. You're probably going to play the hell out of that.
Most likely. And it's perfect for portable.
That's true.
I also
That's true.
To the Moon physical version.
I didn't even know they make that. To them. In the physical.
Well, limited run games did.
Okay.
I just got a used one. I also got physical Sonic Mania, because I'm sure my nephews will want to borrow it.
That's
now
a
that
good
they
one.
have a Switch.
That is a good one to have.
Yeah.
I'm always worried with my. I mean, I've tried to still get physical as much as I can these days, because
Yeah, same.
as we've discussed on this before, and my personal taste is, there's just too much risk in the hardware for the digital to maintain its existence, to put it lightly.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah,
as we've
and
seen with all
sometime-
these past companies, is the stores eventually go down. Like, I understand that. They have to.
Yeah.
You know?
And in the case of Skullgirls, you get it gets passed off to another company, and then they censor the shit out of it on Steam.
Yeah, or things just get changed altogether. So.
Yeah. And the most obscure one I got is a game called One on PS1.
Oh.
It's just supposed to be...
Okay.
It's like this third-person brawling type deal. Just remember seeing it on a list of games you might not have tried, and it looked really cool, so I figured I'd pick it up. It was only $25, so it was all good.
We might have to play that on the podcast. We might have to get a theme for that.
Absolutely.
I am not familiar with this, and it sounds interesting. So.
Yeah. It's funny, when I was walking around all the different game dealers, I was seeing copies of Chrono Trigger on DS, and some of them were going for over $100.
Ooh, brutal.
So I was like, I am really glad I got my copy when I did.
Oh yeah,
I
I
only
look
paid
at
$30.
Yeah, I look at some of the games now. I mean, hell, we just talked about it with Pikmin and Pikmin 2, where each of them are going for over 100. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I remember I bought both of those for $20, and I thought it was expensive back then. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've always wondered when is this bubble gonna burst? When is the generation of collectors gonna stop? And I believe that what we're witnessing at this point in time is, because I have tracked this a little bit, besides the Chrono Triggers of the world, I'm starting to see a little decline in like the consoles from pre-2000.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because now that generation of PS2, GameCube, Xbox, and up are now starting to collect.
Yeah.
So perhaps this
Yeah,
just small decline is just going to go steady from here on out and not decline at all, or they'll just simply lose interest. I'm hoping they lose interest, much like the Atari games, because you can get Atari games for next to nothing, right?
Yeah.
I'm hoping eventually it becomes kind of like that with like NES and PlayStation.
Yeah, and TurboGrafx.
Oh, TurboGrafx. Well, I have an alternative way to get TurboGrafx, but neither here nor there.
Yeah. I was actually seeing a copy of Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg going for $110.
Oh my god!
I remember getting it for $50 for the cast way back when.
Yeah, and we were essentially getting those brand new. Even so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I bought my copy with you, and it was like $40.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Well, I've been dabbling in more Pikmin 4. That is still my life. Like I said in the last cast, it's the sheer amount of content's insane. Even after you quote unquote beat the game, you didn't beat the game. I've been chugging away through Olimar's story, and it's a whole game in itself. It's essentially Pikmin 1 in the Pikmin 4 world, which is enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's updated controls and everything. Everything runs smooth. You get the little dog friend throughout the game, which is a fun little additive. He adds just enough to your traversal of each area is just a little bit faster, so it's nice.
Cool.
Yeah. You do attack enemies way easier. I think the difficulty, because we played the first Pikmin, and the difficulty was kind of there a good chunk of the time. But what Pikmin 4 does so well is it gives you the option to make your own difficulty, which I really appreciate in games.
Okay.
So So, for example, there's I'll just put one example out there. There's an attack the dog can do, where it's a rush attack. And then when you rush an enemy, all the Pikmin that you're currently carrying will be on top of the bigger enemy immediately. So you swarm them as once like a bees. Or you can choose to just send the dog off somewhere else, and you upped your own difficulty doing that. You made your own challenge, essentially.
Nice.
So I have found myself doing that a good chunk of the time in the game now, which is nice. Haven't really gotten back to Final Fantasy 16. I think I might have to just restart that game. I did enjoy what I played. It's just on the back burner there. And then, obviously, podcast games. And I was just kind of throwing on random retro games here and there to just, Mario 3, that kind of deal. Donkey Kong on SNES. Just kind of all-time favorites kind of deals. Just kind of messing around with those. Yeah, I was more in the mood to just kind of pick up and play the last couple weeks. So that's what I was doing.
Nice.
Yeah, especially since you dropped these two games on me and I played, like an hour of them, as is my rule. Usually it's 2 hours. I couldn't make it 2 hours. I was like, I gotta play something better.
Yeah. I actually forgot to mention my nephews recently got Mario Golf on the Switch.
Oh, yes. So you were playing that with them?
Yeah. It's pretty much a nightly thing. They'd invite me to come to their hotel room on the trip to Edmonton, and we'd all play together.
There you go. Look at that. You were preparing for that moment this whole time.
And I also introduced them to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh, I'm sure that's addicting.
Yeah, they're having a great old time with that. They spent most of the flight home from Edmonton unlocking the characters on their Switch.
There you go.
I see great things in the future with them.
Have you seen the Gran Turismo movie or have any interest?
I'm kind of interested. I haven't seen it yet, but I saw that it was made by Neil Blomkamp, so that caught my eye. And for those who don't know, Neil Blomkamp is the guy who did District 9 and Elysium. So.
Oh, I didn't know he did Elysium. I knew he did District 9.
Yeah, he's a pretty solid director.
Yeah.
And yet his visual effects are always very realistic.
Right. Yeah, it just came out in theaters like a couple days ago. So I'm going to kind of probably end up doing what I did with the Mario movie, which is wait for it to go on some streaming device. If it's not out already and I don't know about it. In fact, hold on. Gran Turismo movie streaming date. Let's see here. Real time. Early October. There you go.
Nice.
So I'll just wait for that till then, because I did watch the Mario movie during this 2-week period on Peacock.
How'd you like it?
Enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. A lot of references. Kept the Mario spirit the whole time. I like how Mario had to train to be Mario. Essentially, he kind of already had it in a way, but in that world.
Yeah.
I like the banter between Donkey Kong and Mario throughout the movie, where Donkey Kong's like, "I fucking hate you."
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, there was a lot of Jumpman references throughout, a lot of Nintendo references in general. So a lot of fun, just kind of out on the side aspects. But it really, because those things were there throughout the movie, it kept the entire spirit of why it was a lot of fun. And Bowser being a kind of obsessive goof was good. The voice acting was good. I was a little worried they would do the over Italian thing too much, but they just made them Italian New Yorkers, which I think.
Yeah, it would have gotten pretty annoying if it was the video game voices the whole time.
Right. Yeah.
It's a really fun movie.
So
yeah, Jack Black was the perfect choice for Bowser.
Oh, is that who that was? I didn't look up who any voice actors were.
It's Chris Pratt for Mario and Seth Rogen for Donkey Kong.
uh,
And I forget who the guy who voiced Luigi is. He was or what his name is. He's from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Charles something.
okay. Oh yeah. There's a lot open for a sequel. I think they already announced one, if I'm not mistaken, because this was so successful. I'd like to see.
Sure.
I'd like to see like Luigi's Mansion come into play.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
I'd like a little. Maybe it's too early to think about, Mario Galaxy type stuff. That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, I mean, the whole universe of Mario is wide open for creative. I don't know what the word is. I'm blanking, but you can do whatever the hell you want, basically.
Yeah, I would like to see boss battles in a sequel where he's facing off against Bowser's kids.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
It's like, hey,
They
Bowser,
could all
where'd you
have,
get those kids? I thought you were in love with Peach, buddy.
They could all have like weird mecha type deals.
Right. Speaking of mecha, Armored Core.
What about it?
Okay, so it's coming out, right? Armored Core 6.
I think I've heard whispers.
Okay. So From Software is making this fucking thing. And people are getting their hands on like what, for example, the first boss battle is like, and it's getting compared to the first boss battle in Elden Ring. And I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh boy.
However, I'll defend this. Armored Core has been around forever, okay?
Uh-huh.
And does anyone give a shit about Armored Core anymore?
Not that I can see.
Yeah, and we played, what was it, like 2 on the podcast, I think? Or was it the first one on PlayStation? I think it was the first one on PlayStation we played. And we're like,
I don't think I was around for that one.
Yeah, and at least I was like, yeah, it's okay, it's interesting, it's a good little start. I was more into kind of the front mission games, because the idea is all there, but the graphics and technology couldn't really keep up with what the game could be. All the armored customization, and well, I guess it was good for the time, because I do remember liking it, but it doesn't translate well over time really at all. Well, Armored Core 6 is going to be kind of like literally a Dark Souls mech version. And we've already seen that try with, there was a game like a number of years ago. I'm blanking on the name, but even though that game wasn't made particularly great, it was still good. Right? So if they can get remotely better than that, as the standard, I think this game will be a hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see where that goes.
And let's see. A lot of DLCs have come out lately, and just seasons, and I like just talking about games coming out, what's on the horizon. That's always fun. You know what's not fun? Me playing this drop. So we're going to talk about some shitty games. Here we go.
Punch your soul in the mind. If you wanna test me, I'm sure you're finding the things I'll teach ya. You're sure to beat ya. Nevertheless, you'll get a lesson from teacher. Now kick.
Okay. Oh, you aren't familiar with this little thing, Colin.
What's that?
But, got something like this to play.
Real, this is bullshit. Okay, open the door and let's take a swing at the motherfuckers.
And you actually heard that for once.
Yeah, that was a surprise.
Discord has a soundboard option now, and I threw like a bunch of fun, jokey shit in there. But, Yeah, this is bullshit, Colin. What did you do to me? I wasted 2 hours of my life playing these two games.
Well, as the theme says, was it really that bad? I thought at first of picking games that maybe just had a bad rap at first, like Luigi's Mansion, the original.
That had a bad rap at first?
That's what I've seen. I mean, I guess because when the
Oh,
GameCube first came out.
Yeah. Wind Waker kind of got a lot of pushback. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Yeah. I think the reason for Luigi's Mansion was because people wanted a mainline Mario game, but that wasn't what they got for the GameCube once it came out. But over time, people have come around to it. But
I like the Luigi's Mansion series. I still haven't played Dark Moon because it came
it's
out
coming
on
to Switch soon.
Yeah, so I'll be definitely getting that one. Because it came out on, what was it, the DS or the 3DS? I can't remember. And
3DS.
Yeah, by the time I got a 3DS, a lot of I was already way late to the party on that one. So my 3DS little collection deal isn't as grandiose as it could be. Anyways, what's our first game, Colin? What torture did you put me through to talk about?
First game is Devil May Cry 2
Fuck
on
this
PS2.
game. Oh my god.
Yeah. So, it's developed and published by Capcom. Released on the PS2 on January 28th, 2003, and later ported to all the console generations minus the Wii.
This is a game that can, go into obscurity.
I think it already has.
Yeah, I don't really hear
digging it
people
out.
talk about it anymore.
Nobody wants to.
Because we have... this is... Okay. I've played every Devil May Cry game in the series. And I've beaten all but 2? I don't know why I didn't finish the latest one. And then Devil May Cry 4 was just way too hard. At least in the sense of I couldn't beat it, right?
Yeah.
I was so excited when Devil May Cry 2 was coming out because I was obsessed with the first one. Joey and I played that game. We got cheat codes so we could beat it. We were young. We're both pumped for this one and didn't get it on release date, but as soon as it wasn't Funkoland, it was Game. It was I can't even remember what the store was. It was attached to Hollywood Videos, which was another type of Blockbuster. I keep wanting to say Gamefly, but that's not correct. Anyways, as soon as I saw it there on discount for half price, snagged it up. And maybe the tell was it was only a couple months later. Why it was so depreciated in price, but hey, I didn't know economics when I was, let's see, this is 2003, so 14? Maybe I should have. Can you tell me what the plot of this game is? Because I do not know. Could not follow it.
Well, according to Wikipedia, it says... Set in modern times in the fictional Vita Marley Island.
All right, you lost me.
The story centers on demon hunter Dante and island guardian Lucia in their fight to stop a businessman named Arius from raising the demon Argosax and achieving supreme power.
All right, that sounds like a bunch of hogwash. And did you say an international businessman is our enemy?
It just says businessman.
Okay. So we're up against Donald Trump, is what you're saying?
I guess so.
Or no, who would have been the political villain in the early 2000s? The mayor of Toronto? Was he the cocaine guy that early, or was he way later?
I don't know. Might have been.
We'll go with him. The Leafs haven't won a Stanley Cup. I will raise an undead army to make this world suffer just like I have. There we go.
Oh, boy. But,
yeah. I thought the voice acting in this was horrid compared to the first one.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't great.
It was like everyone was speaking in slow motion or they were bored.
Yeah. And Dante himself barely even talks for the first hour or so.
Yeah, where was his cool little quips and statements and stuff? He didn't have that.
Yeah, that was a big issue with so many people who played it.
Is this one of the worst graphics you've seen from 2003 from a major company?
Yeah, they really weren't that great to look at.
Like
the environments
everything was like weirdly hazy, and I think it had a lot to do. So the difference between like perspective between 1 and 2 was 1 was kind of more close up on Dante. And when you jump, the world would kind of jump with you in a weird way to keep up with it. But the graphics were so on point, you didn't really mind that much. But that was kind of a critique. Was we're kind of too close. I wish I could see some. Well, it's almost like every critique people had over the first game, Capcom went, "All right, we'll do the other thing in 2," and just made it way worse. Like it just wasn't executed well at all in the other direction. So this one's like zoomed out a million miles away. I'm like, okay, everything's hazy, pixelated. I can't see shit half the time, or I'm looking at blank buildings with nothing in existence around it.
Yeah. And plus, the camera doesn't really zoom out when enemies leave the field of vision. So you're just kind of fighting blind off to the side.
Oh, it's awful. Takes a year to go from like place to place with nothing in between. Yeah. Okay, that's something I've noticed in a lot of just poorly made games is you'll have wide open spaces with nothing to do in them. And so you just find yourself kind of wandering around, and there's just no atmosphere to make up for that. So we can compare, let's say Breath of the Wild, because that's an easy game to compare, with wide open fields and not a whole hell of a lot to do in them, but the difference between, say, this game and that is in Breath of the Wild, you have a constant good atmosphere and a sense of where you're going, so the adventure kind of trigger in your brain is activated. Does that make sense?
I guess.
It's like, I can see that in the distance, I have to go that way, and so your adventure of getting to point B is in full. And then there's little sprinkles of stuff along the way, whether it's the little puzzle mines that you go into, the temples, the mini temples. Occasionally you'll come across enemy camps and kind of deal. Horizon Zero Dawn has something similar in that sense. You get the idea. When it comes to games like Devil May Cry 2, or some of the Star Ocean sequels that have come out post-2003, it's just, here's an area, everything is like this blocky rectangle, and you have to go through the blocky rectangle stuff until eventually you'll get to your endpoint that you just didn't know really was there the entire time. You just kind of got there.
Yeah. And
when you get to enemies, then here's the other difference. The enemies in Breath of the Wild and Horizon are all unique, and I don't know, you actually have to fight them with strategy and stuff. In this game, they stand there and look like fucking dumb pieces of shit the whole time, and you can spam your gun button. Pew pew.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so boring. Not challenging at all.
Nothing's challenging.
Just standing there. Yeah, although, like you said, it's oftentimes not clear where to go. I had to look up a walkthrough more than once just to advance.
I remember playing this, and Joey and I were so disappointed, and we immediately busted out like a GameFAQs. Yes, GameFAQs did exist back then. And we're just like, all right, go to left. And you're just like, okay, we're still going left. Are you sure? Okay. Like, I couldn't believe the departure from the first game to this one.
Yeah, it says on Wikipedia is because it was handled by a different team that didn't have much experience. So
noticeable.
It led to a troubled production.
Well, you're telling me troubled production from inexperienced fools caused a poor game? I don't believe this.
But it sounds like after doing this game, they still stayed with the franchise and improved. Because I think they also made Devil May Cry 3?
Well, that would be a case of they got experience and knew what they did wrong the first time.
Yeah, so you could say it's a mixed blessing.
I guess. I mean, you would like to see people with, I don't know, like mentors and experience to teach and mold the people underneath them, but, that's silly in today's society.
Yeah, but I guess...
Worried about them taking them jobs.
But yeah, this game was still a commercial success, but I think that's primarily because people loved the first game so much and thought it was going to translate to this game.
Yeah. In fact, what was the success of Devil May Cry 3 out of curiosity compared to Devil May Cry? Here we go. I can type this in. Devil May Cry I don't know, games sold, I guess? Would that be way to put it? No.
Copies sold?
Copies sold. Yeah, that's a better way. Copies sold. Oops.
I mean, it got a lot of critical praise.
Right, because Devil May Cry 3 got an incredible amount of critical praise. Let's see. Okay, so the first game got 29 million. Maybe that's like over time now.
Yeah.
No, that's the franchise. Let's see. Maybe I got to put in Devil May Cry 1.
Right.
Do this live.
Sales? Devil May Cry 3 sales?
Okay, the first one got 2.1 million. All right. The second one got 1.7 million. So yes, still a success. I've heard a number of different things where if you get the million, it's like an incredible success. You're gonna make a sequel, right? If you get 500,000, it's still successful, but the publisher might go, maybe make something else. So 1.7, and then 3 was 2.3.
Mm-hmm.
So
of course, it had a special edition.
Right, it did. Let's see. Oh, okay. Initially, it sold 1.3 million. And then over time, it's gotten to 2. Okay, so that's what I wanted to check. I wanted to see the initial. So 1.3 compared to 1.7. So people did not just flock to Devil May Cry 3 immediately. It still reached the 1 million mark. So very successful. But clearly, people were very skeptical after the disaster that was 2.
Yeah, that's natural.
And then probably once reviews came out, people were like, okay, I'll give it another try. That's how they got over the 1 million mark.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, making a shitty game has consequences.
Who would have guessed? But yeah, easy fail.
Easy fail. I fucking hate this game. It's boring.
Oh yeah,
combat's terrible.
I forgot to mention, it has some stuff that's cool in theory, but the execution just isn't there. Like that boss fight with the helicopter and the burning skyscraper.
Oh my god.
that should be one of the coolest things ever, but it's by far one of the most tedious boss fights I've ever had to get through.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even attack it with your sword unless you're in double trigger mode, and in order to recharge your gauge to use it, you have to shoot missiles out of the air, which is not as cool or fun or easy as it sounds.
Yeah. But you know what's probably one of the worst aspects? And I think you've asked this question before. What do you think is worse? A broken game that was just rushed and just thrown out there, or a game that's actually like functional and just bad?
That's a good question.
Because glitchy, shitty games can be funny. There's nothing funny about this game.
Yeah, the functional ones that are just badly executed, I think that's worse.
All right, so we both fail this spectacularly. We have the next game.
Yep.
Oh my god.
A game that needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. Sonic the Hedgehog, aka Sonic 06, for Xbox 360 and PS3. Developed by Sonic Team. Developed by Sonic Team and published by Sega. Released on the Xbox 360 in North America on November 14th, 2006. In the PAL regions on November 24th, 2006. And in Japan on December 21, 2006. And then it later got a PS3 release in all three of those.
This game is 3 years away from being 20 years old.
That's hard to believe.
My god.
Yeah.
Feel old yet?
Oh boy, do I. Here we go, boys. One of the most infamous shitfests we've never covered on this cast. As Aaron Hansen of Game Grumps would say, what is this?
So this is an example of a game being unfinished and glitchy. And I'll also say it. Did you know Sonic storylines are fucking horrible?
Gee, who would have guessed?
Why the Final Fantasy characters? Why? Just why humans at all?
Yeah, really.
Oh my god.
It's just ridiculous. It's like the plot, if you can call it that, just involves princess of a nation called Soliana being kidnapped by Dr. Eggman. It should be Dr. Robotnik, and Eggman is just Sonic's insulting nickname for him, but apparently the people who made this game embraced it.
Sure.
As the actual name.
Because they're dumb.
Yeah. And then Sonic goes to rescue her, gets a Chaos Emerald along the way, and then some time-traveling hedgehog shows up to kill Sonic, and it just...
I'm sorry, did you say time-traveling hedgehog?
Yes, Silver the Hedgehog.
Okay. Just making sure.
Mm-hmm.
In a Final Fantasy world.
Yes.
Okay. I had an epiphany. I'm sure other people have had this. Is this what they imagined Sonic Adventure to be? On the Dreamcast?
Yeah, I gotta wonder. I mean, they even ripped the first level of Sonic Adventure for this game.
Right?
Complete with killer whales.
Hold on. My cat's like eating wires and shit. Hold on.
Oh, no.
Teddy, get out of here. Get. Come on. What are you doing? I know you want my attention, but come on. Meow, meow, meow. I know. Come on. Get upstairs. Go. Go. Get. Get. Come on. My God. Oh, man. He just wants attention. That's what it is. Oh, he's so bad.
Your pussy always wants
boy.
attention.
Did you hear all that?
Yep. Your pussy always wants attention, doesn't it?
Whoa, hey. Why you gotta phrase it like that?
That's why.
Yeah, he really wants attention. He's going back. He's bouncing around. I'm talking on the podcast, and he's like, "You're not paying attention to me." Ah.
Why can't he just sit on your lap like a normal cat?
Well, the thing is, he's gone back and forth throughout this podcast episode, like going on either side of my lap, but he won't stay there. I think it's because he wants to. So his favorite thing now, as we depart from talking about Sonic 06 already, is I made a putting green in my living room, as you know, right? Well, I throw cat toys on it. Okay, I made a putting green in my living room. and I throw the cat toys on it, and he just loves the kind of fake grass that's on it. And he rolls in it and knocks the toys around, and it's a lot of fun for him. So anytime, and he's biting another wire. No, okay, I got a lot. Oh my god!
Oh no!
Come here.
Boy, oh boy. What a time to be alive. But I guess he's just looking for excuses not to talk about this shitty-ass game. And who can blame him, really?
Okay, so what just happened there was I'm charging my 3DS in the corner of the room here, and he literally was about to take the 3DS with him by biting the cord. And he was walking about 2 feet.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
I think you need to start bringing a laser pointer to the cast, just to keep him distracted.
Oh, yeah, right? And just kind of poke it in the corner. Yeah. Man, that was an ordeal. Okay, so Sonic 06 was like my attention span with my cat. So, the overworld and the NPCs is not only a chore, but probably one of the worst interactions I've played in video games.
Yeah. Yeah, the hub city is so boring and plain-looking you never have any idea where the hell you are at any given time. And plus, the NPCs themselves, when you're talking to them, they never stop moving their mouths or their arms.
Well,
it's just...
They're like Roblox, essentially.
Pretty much.
Right? It's... The controls are glitchy. They don't work half the time. There's no, like, real tutorial that makes sense for you to... when to utilize these things when they tell you. What else? I know the silver fights are, like, fucking terrible because the camera jumps around all shitty. They basically made... the Sonic Adventure in that engine and just tried to transfer it to the modern consoles at the time. That's what I think happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I mean, it's like the graphics are a little better, but the gameplay and story are much shittier.
Are the graphics better or are the cutscenes better?
I think the graphics have a little more definition to them.
Okay.
But yeah, that first level was just shitty all around. You're switching between Sonic and Tails, and the Tails sections made me lose the majority of my lives a lot of the time. And it's just... The load times are obnoxious and atrocious.
Well,
they're some of the worst I've ever encountered.
Oh, I mean... They're long as shit because once we got to the PS3 era, load times were kind of a thing of the past, right?
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes. It never took long to... I mean, okay, I'll put it this way. When we play fighting games on, like, a disc system, you're ready for, like, a minute load time, right? And you're like, okay, here we go. Just gotta wait a minute. In Sonic 06, you're still waiting.
You cut out.
Yeah, 1 to 2 minutes is when you're waiting for Sonic 06 to load.
Yep. Better have your smartphone handy with Candy Crush, people.
Oh my god. People still play that?
I still play that.
Oh, wow, okay.
It's a good time killer.
Wow. God, I think Candy Crush is like 10 years old now, isn't it?
At least.
Man. I haven't thought about that game in a decade. So the boss battles are an atrocity. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Sonic Adventure was better.
Yeah. Yeah, the Silver the Hedgehog boss fight was pretty bullshit. It's like, you try to attack him dead on, he'll freeze you in midair, and every single time says, it's no use.
Oh, God. Let's see, there's the snowboard level that's really bad. Nothing works in it properly. Silver's telekinesis is annoying.
Yeah. Although once I figured out that he's vulnerable when he starts levitating other objects, then the fight didn't last that long. Just hit him once and run away.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You can't see him half the time because he's off the screen because the camera's so bad.
Yeah, but he'll always say, like, this'll take care of it, when he does it. So.
I guess I never heard that or paid attention because I was just so seething mad.
Fair enough. And, yep, the glitches are many and everywhere. If you want an example, look up Game Grumps, What Is This?
Oh, where he gets like stuck on the wall or something, or he's off it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably the most famous Aaron Rage moment in all of Game Grumps.
I think he's got some much later now that top that personally, but God, I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him revisit Sonic 06 with Dan personally.
Yeah, that'd be
at least a little bit
fun.
Of it. But God, the amount of times I would like fall through the world, or the world wouldn't load, or I just get stuck in like a building or some shit. I'm like, oh, okay, gotta reload. Let's just say I'm glad I pirated this game.
I do not blame you.
Yeah.
It's even pretty hard to find in a lot of retro game stores, at least where I live.
Ah, okay. So I actually looked that up. Why is this game so kind of hard to find? Along with all those, what do they call it? Like Sonic and the Secret Rings and those Werehog and those games?
Yeah.
So, well, no, that was afterwards. So it would have been... okay, what happened was in 2010, and it does say this on the wiki, which got me to look it up further, was Sega of America took away all Sonic games that had bad Metacritic scores.
Oh.
That's why a lot of these poor mid-2000s Sonic games are, like, impossible to find.
Yeah.
It was an effort to reboot the franchise again, which I think was the reason why it led to what was it called? Sonic, and it was the one where it mixes the 3D and 2D.
Sonic Generations?
Yes. So it was an effort to, when they were making Sonic Generations, to take away what devalued the franchise. And so when Sonic Generations was coming out, they'd go, "Oh, I want to play an old Sonic game. What were the good ones?" And they would get pointed to kind of the Genesis games, which was another reason why they tried remaking 2D Sonic games to get away from the disaster that they put out on Sonic 06 and the Wii franchise games and those things. I found that pretty interesting, and honestly, probably a smart decision.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I want to say it led to the Wii games getting pulled too, like at a later date, but I can't. I'm not sure about that. I couldn't confirm. But that has a lot to do with why like Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 or Shadow the Hedgehog seems to be kind of floating around, not as much as some others would be. But even at the time, Sonic Adventure was well received.
Yeah. I mean, it was the very first 3D Sonic.
Right. So
And
yeah, I
at
played
the
an
time-
hour of this, and so much of it was just in that stupid hub world. Fucking hate it.
Yeah. And it's so funny how at one point you see Dr. Eggman kidnap the princess again. And it's like, oh, gotta go after him. And then suddenly you're in the hub world talking to all the different people.
Yeah. Oh no, princess! Okay, I gotta talk to you. What's up? Yes, I know, you have dumplings. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dumplings. I want hot dogs. Not interested. Where's the princess?
And don't even get me started on the interspecies romance between Sonic and the princess.
Ugh.
That was fucking weird.
I really wish the Sonic franchise would decide it being kind of a Smurfs type universe rather than this kind of pseudo-human animal world that they've built, you know? Where
Yeah.
they're off in their own land, minding their own business, and they're on this like remote thing, and Eggman happens to come across it and wants to take over like his section of the world. You know, there's no like actual mingling between humans in this and these. Now we're talking about Sonic lore. What is wrong with me?
Hey, that's more or less what the Sonic Sat AM series did. Although Robotnik took over the whole planet in that case.
Yeah.
But that was
Yeah.
a legitimately good cartoon. Some fans are even making a season 3 for it now.
Oh, hey, how about that?
Yeah. Yeah, they're going by all the stuff that, like, the main series director had said in interviews to create the next season. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I even saw, like, a teaser video of it, and they stayed pretty true to the animation style and voice acting.
All right, Colin. I don't want to talk about this game anymore. I'm beat. I fought my cat all podcast long. He's back. He's purring. He wants to jump on the mic stand.
Yeah. Yes, let's end our suffering. This game gets an easy fail.
All right. So here's the big question then. Is the broken Sonic game worse than the boring, shitty Devil May Cry game?
Yes.
Ooh. So it's funny. We answered this earlier, and we said we think the boring game's worse. I think Sonic 06 is the encapsulation of both. That's why I think it's worse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the load times make it boring. The story being incomprehensible. And the characters they're barely there.
Yep.
And it's just a broken mess all around.
Yeah. I'm giving them both Fs, personally.
Yep. I'll do the same.
Oh, double F. The ultimate fail.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. Joey's got the next theme
I
pick.
succeeded at failing. Go figure.
Yeah, go figure. Joey's got the next theme pick. He's not here. We'll talk to him. We'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. See you next time.
Bye now.